is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And a pleasant good evening live from Southwest Oklahoma Brewery here on 2nd Street in downtown Lawton, Oklahoma. It is the place to be on Tuesday because it's our area coaches show where we've got 5 schools to talk about and talk with coaches and players, starting with the 3 Lawton schools. Plus we've got Cache and we've also got Walters. And the Cache Bulldogs have started their JV season with a little bit of a change of venue because it was supposed to be played at Eisenhower, but a scheduling conflict had to have them host it at Cache. So they had to kind of bow it for tonight, so we won't be able to get the Cache coaches and players. We had them on last week, even though they did not play. That was their second scrimmage, getting ready for the regular season. So we are here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery with the very lovely and talented Michelle, and I got to start off with Michelle. Each and every broadcast, you are the host of Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, and we're so glad that you are hosting our coaches show. But I found out through some more research, because I knew about your history of kind of coming here, and your husband had some Altus ties, but you had Minnesota ties, and he said he lived in Minnesota probably as long as he did. It's kind of like me. I've lived here as long without being from Michigan. But you also are the brew Meister. You are actually the one that started all of this campaign about so tell us a little bit about how that got started, how you got started in putting it to this form.
Sure. So my husband and I used to homebrew, and we loved it. We just fell in love with brewing. And then I had the opportunity to go to school up in Minnesota. There was a year-long program, and it was Saturdays, so it was fun at a technical school. Got my degree, and then I started doing an internship at a brewery up in Minnesota, and I worked there for a while. They hired me after my internship was over. Worked there for about a year, 6 months to a year, and now we moved down here to open our own brewery.
How long does it take to get a license to be officially a brewmeister?
It varies. The program I was in was just a year-long program, but you can do a 4-year degree, which is more like gets a little deeper into the chemistry and like that part of the brew making. I liked the program that I did. It just taught you the basics and then went through all the pH, your adjustments, things that you needed to know to brew a good set of beer. And we brewed like 5 batches throughout the year.
Wow! And what is your favorite? I know there's probably a customer's favorite and your favorite. What is your favorite?
I like the dry hopped beers, the hoppy beers. So I have a pale ale on tap right now that is dry hopped called Pale Rider. That's my favorite beer.
Okay, it's my job to really educate you on the Southwest Oklahoma Brewery concept. It's not just where we're here, and it's not like a bar. It's there are serving you at the table. It's family friendly, and let's talk about the food. I really can say that I don't have a favorite yet because I told you I was going to go through that menu. Starting off with their homemade sausage, the sausage that they make here with a little bit of a jalapeno bite and cheese. That is awesome. And I've had ribs on Friday. So before that, I had the pulled pork. I've had the brisket. I've had the sausage links 2 or 3 times. I love the okra. It's full battered fry okra, not sliced up as we normally would see, and that was kind of a unique flavor. Great mac and cheese. And I've not had it yet, but I have seen it. Someone bought a pretzel, and I challenge you to find a bigger pretzel anywhere. Where did you get that pretzel?
When we were working with our food vendors, we said we want a big, huge pretzel.
So on the menu, when it says large pretzel, take them at their word. Mm-hmm. It is a large pretzel. So if you're hungry, and then what I like about this, and you've kind of had this, and maybe this will turn in the lunch menu, you've got the summer menu, which is really kind of a lighter scale, so you're not as full. So you can get 1 meat, 2 meat, 3 meat in the summer, or you can come and say, hey, I'm all about it. Let's load up, and you can get the full plate if you like.
Correct. Yep.
All right, so we're going to talk more about holiday stuff coming up. She's got a lot to talk about with Oktoberfest. That's coming up right around the corner. She's got a lot of festivities, some that are kid-friendly on the weekends. So we've got a lot to talk about here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. So we got MacArthur Highlanders in the house. We've got Walters. Cash is walking through Lawton High is walking through the door right now. So we've got plenty to be able to watch with coaches and players talking about 0 week. Some of these have already played. And then we're going to talk to Walters, who've got their first game, but it's been moved from Friday to Thursday night. So that's a change, too. We're going to take a timeout and be back right after this. Coach's Show continues on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
All right, we are at the Coach's Show, Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street, downtown Lawton. We'd like for you to join us, not only for the Coach's Show, but for a great dinner. If you're really in the hankering for barbecue, we've got you. You know, whether it's the links that I talked about earlier, or the brisket, or the pulled pork, chicken, you can get any of those things. Or if you want just a snack around, you can find that plenty here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. So up first, the MacArthur Highlanders, and we're going to talk with head coach Brett Manning. Last week we didn't get to have you at the Coach Show because you had to meet the Highlander night, and every year it's always that conflict because they've selected Tuesday night. We respectfully understand that, and so we had Coach Holmes come with a couple of players, and we appreciate that. So, well, you got one game in the books. It's a 0 week game, and so usually what we do is kind of backtrack of there's the emotions of the game. I've talked with Coach Pushki a little bit about that, how he kind of would lay awake at night, kind of thinking what I could have done different or that. But then when you break down film, you really get to see, as what coaches would say, maybe you're not as good as you were, maybe you weren't as bad as you were. So what did you come away with that Elgin game?
Well, we got beat in all three phases of the game. I felt like they did a great job. We had some positives. We did some good things. But, I felt like they beat us in all three phases, and we've got to get better. And that's such a great game for us, to be able to not only have a high-energy, high-emotion game because it's a rival and they're so close, but also just because they're a really solid team, really solid program. And, the more that we can go up against those kind of people, the better we're going to be in the long run.
So you still kind of a fan or not so fan of 0 week game?
Well, I mean, yeah,
I know you scheduled it, but
I still like it. I like the fact that we're going to have a bye here in a few weeks after our 4 non-district games.
Yeah,
I like that part of it. When you have those 2 scrimmages, it seems like it just takes forever for game week to get here. So
okay.
I like it getting here quick. It does definitely present some challenges, but. No, I still like it.
How would you like to get better going forward, since you say in all 3 phases you felt that you were beat? I know you work at all 3 of them at different times, but how would you like to improve going forward?
Well, I think I felt like after our first scrimmage, we played a really good team in Edmond Memorial, and I felt like our defensive alignment, our tackling was really good. And then, it wasn't so good the other night. Of course, you got to give credit to Elgin and their running back. Meyer is, hopefully one of the best we'll see all year long. And, he causes a lot of that, missed tackles and stuff. But we've got to be better tacklers. We've got to get lined up better defensively. Offensively, we missed some third downs. That was probably the biggest disappointment offensively for us, is that, we had a few third and less than 4 that we just didn't convert on for one reason or another. But, on the positive, we didn't turn the ball over. We ran the ball really well, had over 300 yards rushing. So, we did some good things, but we got to do better on third down. And then special teams wise, we really had a bad punt night, with they did something that we had never seen before, and it was really tough on us, and blocked one and caused us to have a really bad punt on another one. So, we've got to fix that. The good thing is it's extremely early, and we're we've got a long football season ahead of us and a lot of room for improvement.
Well, and you as a coach would know, if you saw it reverse on the other side, that everybody and their brother, coaching-wise, is going to try to use that special teams play to say, okay,
sure,
well, this is something that, let's see if they've worked on it or not. We're going to come back to you at the end with your breakdown with this week's matchup, because we're going to talk to a couple players. But one other thing I wanted to ask about this kind of a preseason setup. You're in a very unique situation because everybody usually gets the 3 non-district games, but because we're one shy less of a district, and so if you understand why we're going to play 4 non-district games before we get into district, well, we're kind of making up for that, and you said, you know what, these kids deserve 10 games, not just 9. Do you think that will also bode well of having 4 of those tests before you really get into the district play?
Yeah, I don't see how it can help from it. Elgin, great team. Lawton High and Eisenhower, always big games, big rivalry games. And then, Ponca City just had a huge win last week against Enid. Beat Enid really bad, kind of surprised everybody. But so I think we've got, 4 quality opponents, and, I don't see how that can help but be good for us. All
right, so Coach Manning, we'll get back to his predictions and what breakdown with the Eisenhower Eagles. That's the next opponent at Cameron Stadium. Let's talk to some of our players. So why don't you grab the mic, give us your name, your grade, and what position you play.
My name is Braden McDonald. I'm a senior. I'm a slot receiver.
Slot receiver, so you're kind of utility guy going all over in different directions. Tell us a little bit about before the game. Just talk about the atmosphere. Coach said it was a great place to play. It's almost kind of a playoff atmosphere. Elgin gets very loud. We understand that. How is that for a player for you? Did you enjoy that? Did you kind of feed off of that?
Yes, sir, especially that being my first varsity game that I've really got to step into. A big environment like that is really something that, how do I put this? A new player stepping into a role it's a great environment.
Well, talk a little bit about you getting to that position, to be able to get a starter and on the field. What did it take for you to do that, to enter into the roster?
A lot of hard work and a lot of trust from Coach Manning, Coach Pruski. Just getting to step into that role is something that I'm hoping to live up to this year and looking forward to.
How would you like to improve going forward as a player at your position?
I need to work on my breaks, work on my get-offs, and really work on reading backers, especially going across the field a lot, in that slot position. Just really work on, getting out of breaks, getting into breaks, my body language, small stuff like that.
How fun is it to kick off your senior season?
Oh, it's exciting, especially a big first game like that, like Elgin. Stands are full, crowd's there. It's really exciting.
Well, the next 2 are going to be pretty big too, because that's you're coming back to town, and you got city rivalries. You got a city championship trophy that still resides over at MacArthur, the General's Trophy. You'd like to keep there on your side of the town, and Lawton High coming off of a win over Eisenhower. So, what did you see about Eisenhower, and how are you getting ready for them this week?
A lot of practice, a lot of preparation. We've seen a lot of different offensive and defensive shifts from them too. So. There's a lot of little things that you got to work on in practice. A lot of little things that you have to see, as a receiver, as a QB from them. But there's a lot of lot of preparation that we've been doing in these past 2 days, and I think we'll get the job done.
All right, we got another player next to you. Well, a big bookend right on the end there. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
My name is Walter Rhodes. I'm a senior, and I play offensive line.
Okay, and then also kind of following the footsteps of your dad. Your dad played at MacArthur as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the same positions. He was on the O-line?
When my dad was in high school, he was a lot smaller than me.
Was he?
Yeah. I think he said he went out for running back.
Oh, he did. Okay, all right. So that's good. Let's a little focus on your senior season. How has it been so far?
It's going good. You know, as a unit up front, we have little MAs that can get the ball stopped and stuff like that, but we working on it. We get it fixed.
You kind of came in, through the season last year, worked your way into that role of getting to be a starter. So talk about that and how you can kind of be a leader for these underclassmen looking at you at the position you play.
Well, a lot of guys, like a lot of younger guys, will look to me for advice on like technique and stuff like that. But all I could tell them is just to like keep working on it and keep getting better and just stay with it.
What's it going to be like this week for the team that's got a loss? I mean, you like to have I know it's non-district schedule, but 0-1, man. What are we looking to prove on Friday?
It's just another game, but we got to go out there. We got to prove that we belong here, and I think we can do that.
Okay. All right. What is your plans for after high school?
I plan on going to college and studying pre-med.
Pre-med?
Yes, sir.
Good for you. So at what pre-med will get you what later on down the road, you think?
I want to be an orthopedic surgeon.
Really? So you already got a particular area of expertise. All right. Well, that's good. You got some hard work in front of you, and you can start right there. Enjoy your senior season because it's going to be flying by fast.
Yes,
all right. We're going to finish up with Coach Manning. And, Coach, a little breakdown of, you kind of see the film, and then you also hear that any team is always going to improve from week 1 to week 2 because they've got a lot to work on. So they're going to go back to the books and work on some stuff. But what did you see for Eisenhower to get prepared for them this week?
Defensively, they're very similar to Elgin as far as the defense that they run, how they line up. Offensively, they do a lot of they play really fast, which, kind of like us.
Yeah,
so,
no huddle, just go straight to the line.
Yeah, yep. And, our defensive coaches have always talked about how they wouldn't want to play us because of our tempo, but
sure.
we'll get to experience that this week from the other side. So, but they do a lot of, running zone and running quick screens on the outside with their receivers.
And good to be back home at Cameron.
Sure. Yeah, always.
Now I'm excitingly wait because we got 2 of them this year to say our thoughts about playing at MacArthur. Now you had the JV play last night on the field, right?
Yeah. The last 2 years, I guess it's our second year now.
Second year on that.
All of our.
So you got kind of acclimated already of kind of the feeling, but a Friday night light thing is going to be a little bit different.
It's going to be different, and it's going to be senior night and homecoming and then senior night too. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now you've also you guys were the first, I guess, to get the visiting stands in placement. I guess they were working on that last week, correct? On the field?
They're still working on it. And I don't know where the other 2 are at this point, but they're working on
and
ours.
how much more capacity will that give you?
It's going to be about another 1,000 people. So our Oklahoma City schools are the ones that we're playing at home because they tend to not travel very well. We'll probably fill up both sides with MacArthur people, and there'll probably be people around the edge too.
Okay.
But it'll be a good atmosphere. We're really looking forward to it.
Okay, well, good luck this week, and we'll talk to you next week on Tuesday. The MacArthur Highlanders, Coach Brett Manning. We will be back, of course. We got Lawton High, and we've got Walters in the house at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street. We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. and finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed, because your success is our success.
All right, back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street, it is the place to be. It is the place to eat. In fact, get your headset on there, Coach Zoe. No? I was kind of envious because last week we shut down the show and, you kind of finished. You're not last today. How about that? So Coach Lorenzo Williams joins us for the Lawton High Wolverines. And you had the dinner plate. This is the first time of experience. So you and I were talking about that, and you said, "You know what? I'm going to go all in." And man, you brought them all. I mean, so what was your take on all that stuff they brought you?
I had the three meat combo. I think we had some brisket on there. Some jalapeno sausage links.
Yeah.
And some ribs. Man, that was good, man. That okra, though, man, we talked about that okra, right? Hey. No, listen, I've been looking for some good barbecue around here, man. I think Southwest Oklahoma Brewery is where it's at.
Yeah, I know. I said, and you said, well, I'm going to have to come here Saturday after we're doing little game plan and stuff like that, load up, because, they're open like that. Now, Mondays are not open. Tuesday's a little bit slower opening, and they're open lunch for the rest of the week. But Friday I came before game day. It's always kind of nice, but really bragging up that okra. I told you when I was walking in, I saw the largest pretzel I'd ever seen. And when it's large pretzel, it's not out here now. But when I walked in, I saw it, and I said, you got to be kidding me. Is someone going to eat that? Okay, Coach, Lawton High Wolverines, we'll talk about the success of you got the monkey off your back as far as the expectations. You and I last week talked about. In fact, it happened right when we were having the show last week. There was a Lawton High alum, and his question was, Coach, are we going to be like this?
It's going to be like this year,
it was unplanned. It was unstaged. I said, you're not lying. I mean, everybody wanted to ask about that. Yeah. So you got it done. You got it done in big fashion. So break down your win against Eisenhower last week.
I think the goal for us, like I said last week, was to come out and be tough and physical. I think that's a thing that we know we're talented. We got a lot of talented guys. I told you we don't have a lot of big play guys like we did last year, but we got a lot of talent. But doing it together and being tough and physical together is kind of what we kind of hang our hat on for this game, and we try to see if we can do that in real life. We talked to the kids about if we can play tough and physical, we got a chance to be pretty good this year. But we just don't know if we can do it or not yet, just because we've been playing against so much bigger talent and so much people who just some of these guys are out of this world. The Bigsby's and the East St. Louis's and the Broken Arrows. Like we've been kind of, the Choctaws probably got one of the best teams they've had ever. I think. I know Jake, he's a little tight on it, but I'm like, no, don't worry, you're gonna be all right. You got some guys, man. But we've been playing up. You know what I mean? That we didn't know what we was actually capable of doing, type thing. So I was happy. I think we rushed for almost 400 yards. Whenever you can do something like that, I think we only gave up maybe 80 or 90 yards total offense. You know what I mean? So when you do something like that, you got a chance to be pretty good in the season.
Coach Lorenzo Williams joins us from the Lawton High Wolverines, gets his first win, and now you won't get asked that anymore for the rest of the year. For the year, it'll be next year that we'll have to worry about that question. Okay, so as I talked with Coach Manning earlier, you're never as good as you are, never as bad as you are. So the score indicates, you did pretty good. But coaches are never satisfied. So what did you walk away with saying, okay, you know what, guys, let's settle down. Let's not have the championship quite yet. There's got a lot of work to do. So how could you improve going forward?
We had a lot of penalties. That's one thing I didn't like. I think we had 13 penalties. So there are 4 or 5 or something like that. But we had 85 yards of penalty yards. That just can't happen. You being a good football team. So. And this procedure stuff, like things that we can control. I tell the guys all the time, a holding penalty is not nothing, unless it's egregious, that's an opinion. You know what I mean? But, we jumping off sides, or we not getting lined up on time. Our shifts and motions are late, and we trying to snap the ball while we're shifting and that kind of stuff. Those are things we can control, and we got to get better. So that's pretty much been our focus. Started the first 2 days of practice this week is just correcting that side of it. I think if we can get those penalties cleaned up, we took care of the football pretty well. We did some good things, but that penalty thing, that'll get you.
Well, this week, long bus ride. I don't know if people understand where Enid is from Lawton.
Not close.
You think, just going to Stillwater is a challenge, but it's a little bit beyond that.
Right.
So you got a little bit of a bus ride, kids. But you know what? If you say you went to Bixby, And you did that. That was already a bus ride, so you don't have to prepare these kids to say, hey, remember when we went to Bixby? It's going to be the same kind of setup. So if you sleep, put the headphones in, whatever you got. Are you looking forward to this road test here?
Yeah, every coach – every coach worth the salt, or good coaches understand, it's method to the madness type thing. I knew we was going to have a tough ride against a big 6A opponent, all this kind of stuff. So, hey, when we getting ready to schedule our offseason stuff, what are we doing? Well, we're going to take some rides. We're going to go see how we are getting off the bus. That gives some coaching points or some coaching time to say, hey, listen, how we getting off the bus right now after a long bus ride? Can we get prepared? Can we go play at a high level? So, method to the madness type thing. I know, people thought I was crazy, but I knew we had to go play up in Enid this year. So, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I know the kids like getting out of school a little early, so that's cool. You know what I mean? But, but it is a little trek. We got to get up there and try to get up there about 4:30 and get ready to play a great football game.
Well, and one of the questions, you brought up earlier in the first one about your expectations of how physical you were. Maybe those were met. You want to still build on it. What would you like to see out of this week's game then?
Well, a little different challenge. 6A1 team. They got a huge line on both sides of the ball, and I told my guys up front, I said, "Hey, listen, we did a great job last week, but this is going to be a different kind of test. Can we do it? Can we do it in 4 quarters? Can we dominate the point of attack? And can we run the football well?" So it's going to come down to when it get cold outside. Hopefully you're still playing football when it's cold. You ain't going to be throwing the ball around a lot. It's going to be who can run it the best and who can stop the run. So that's what we're looking forward to. What we want to try to get done this week.
All right, Coach Lorenzo Williams, Lawton High Wolverines, got some players in the house. So you first one, grab the mic. Tell us your name, grade, and what position you play.
I'm Mason. I play left tackle, and I'm in 12th grade.
So a senior this year, you had the transition last year of Coach Zoe coming in for the first year. Kind of got that under your belt. How has it been from that transition from last year to this year with his coaching?
I'd say it's been really good. How Coach Zoe takes the field is way different than how I've ever experienced it. For example, we'd be out there and instead of yelling at the players, he'll sit there sometimes, you'll get yelled at, but he'll still coach you about it. And that's what I like about it mostly. And being able to go out there and have fun mostly really is, Coach Zoe's one of his biggest things is put a smile on your face, and I love that about that.
Now, there was something, too, about this rivalry. And you as a senior, I've been told by many Lawton High coaches previous to Coach Zoe that you'll get asked, in this community, did you beat Ike your senior year? It's not like did you, beat them all 4. It was your senior year. You're able to do that. How well does that feel that you finally, after losing to them last year, get the win this year?
It feels really good. We had a great competition out there. I like everything they did for us. Really prepared us for this upcoming season, and going out there and putting on a great football for everyone.
How are you prepared for this week going up against Enid?
I'd say we, up front wise, they got bigger dudes. Like how Coach Zoe said.
Yeah, but you were at Bixby, and you've seen some bigger dudes in this this fall and scrimmage stuff already.
Yeah, but you can never doubt somebody about how they're playing. Stuff.
Yeah.
And Enid, they just came out Ponca City, and they got some fight in them right now. They want to win. So it's going to be a tough game no matter what. And I just want to go out there, play some football, and have some fun.
What is your plans for after high school? You being a senior.
After high school, I'm going to try to take football. However far it can take me. If that means college, great. And if it don't mean college, hey, we got to park that. We got to continue moving on. And so my plan is to join the IBEW and continue learning trade as a union electrician.
Oh, okay, very good. You got some plan there. Okay, you got a guy next to you, so give us your name, your grade, and what position you play.
I'm DeAndre. I'm a junior. I play right tackle, O-line.
Okay, so you're in the trenches. Coach bragged up about how many yards you guys, and that really starts with not just the guys that are running it, but the guys that are blocking it. You guys felt like you really came up with a great game plan last week against Ike?
Yeah, I think we did. We practiced all last week on running game. Watched film. We knew running game was going to be one of the things that would help us score. I think we prepared well for it.
How would you like to, because you're a junior, so you're going to come back, you still got a senior year, how would you, going forward, like to improve on O-line?
Our O-line's kind of young, so I think we just teach them. I mean, we just need to help get physical, I mean, it's only up for here for the trenches. I mean, not much.
But let me get more specific, though. How would you like to improve? What do you want to get better on specifically?
Probably my down blocks, my pulls and stuff like that. Obviously, step up on leadership. Just things in general. Everybody needs to work on. I need to work on.
Okay, you've already kind of had a long road trip, but you got another one this coming week. What do you do normally in a road week? Are you kind of take a nap kind of a guy, listen to music, do some homework?
Just put my headphones on, sleep, and
just chilling, huh?
Yeah, just
and they wake you up and they say, "We're here." All right, okay, put them on. All right. Well, we'll have that game there, of course, for you, 6:30 for the pregame. Lawton High Wolverines on the road, a 1-0 start, beating the nemesis Eisenhower Eagles in that historic rivalry. You got some hardware with that too, Coach, didn't you?
Yeah, you got the Great American Rivalry Series. That's
Yeah.
cool. I won it a few times at my other school. I think we won it every time we played it in my other school. So, that's kind of thing. We want to win every trophy we can win. Anytime there's a trophy involved, we want to try to get it. You know what I mean? So,
well, you got another one you can still play for. It's the General's Trophy, and
Yeah.
that's the traveling trophy for the 3 Lawton schools. So you got to still play MacArthur. That'll be a week from this week. So we'll kind of save that one for next.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, Coach Lorenzo Williams, Lawton High Wolverines got the Walters Blue Devils, and their schedule has changed. They're going to be playing Thursday night instead of Friday, so they're going to be the lone game outside of a volleyball matchup on the network, so you'll be able to catch some football on Thursday and Friday. We'll talk about that and so much more coming up next right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, we're back here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery on 2nd Street, downtown Lawton. It is your place to be each and every Tuesday. You come any day of the week, though. Great menu of barbecue, and you'll be very impressed from start to finish, whether it's to be their links, their ribs, their pulled pork, their brisket, the largest pretzel I've ever seen anywhere. I challenge you to try to find one bigger. And then, of course, all of the great eats. And I've not even got to the desserts yet, but they got a lot of shareables, a lot of stuff. So it's kid-friendly. And I know, don't be scared away by the name Southwest Oklahoma Brewery. Yes, they are a brewery. They do have that aspect on there, but there's a full menu. And they've got an outside. They've even got people that are playing cornhole. They got outside cornhole. They've got an outside patio. And the weather is going to get really nice in the fall that you're going to enjoy that. In fact, Oktoberfest coming up right around the corner, and they've got a lot to be able to take with as well. So Walters Blue Devils are up next, and of all of our teams we've talked to, the 5 teams that were playing 0 week, this is a team who's not played yet. They've had 2 scrimmages, and they'll play Heddleton coming up on Thursday. Yes, there's been a move from a Friday, but first off, Coach K, we're going to talk a little bit about the scrimmages, what you saw in the kind of the warm-up, the tune-up, before you get to start to kick off football for real this week.
Yeah, it was a lot of growing. We went, our first scrimmage was at home. It was us, Rush Springs, Apache, and Carnegie. So lots of different looks, lots of different systems. We got to see, kind of how we match up against a little bit of everything. And then last week we went all the way to Davis, and, they are the defending 2A2 state champions. So a lot of history there. So it was good. We got a really young, not necessarily young, but some guys that hadn't played, or we had a big graduating class, so lots of fresh blood in there to be able to show those guys that this is what a championship program looks like, and these are championship level players. So it was a really cool experience to get to show a lot of these guys that hadn't seen stuff like that.
How did you come away with what you broke down on film against Davis? What did you find?
Going against a program that level, there was definitely lots to work on. But, whenever we wanted to and whenever we decided to do what we do and play championship level football, I was very pleased with how our kids held against.
How would you like to get them to improve going forward? And you work with the O-line, don't you?
Yeah, O-line and D-line. Just more physicality, and that comes with experience, being able to go in there and kind of get your hands dirty and see a little bit more, and just that's really just the name of our game right now, is we got to go out there and put the work in.
Well, Coach Farron was our guest, of course, last week, and we were talking a little bit about how the expectations of the surprise factor that Walters may have this year, because everybody looks on paper and they say, well, they graduated a lot of seniors, and they're not B.J. Palmer anymore. And they start naming names of everybody that graduated. But Coach says, don't sleep on these guys.
That's right.
There's a lot of guys coming in.
And not to discredit those guys, it is definitely hard to, when you have that caliber.
Sure.
A place like Walters, you don't see classes like that very often.
Right.
But part of being a program is places like Carl Albert and Washington and Davis. Davis isn't that much bigger than us, and they find a way to be competitive year in and year out. And that's the name of the game, is we feel like we are building an actual program.
Well, I know this was kind of short notice. I don't know when you guys were given notice that you weren't playing Friday or Thursday. What does that change for the practice methodology? And, Labor Day was Monday. That kind of throws everything out of kink. And then you got Tuesday, and then you come to find out, oh, by the way, we don't have 3 days until we kick off. It's only 2 days. So what does that make the coaching
I didn't
staff
figure out until about 3 o'clock today.
Right, I know.
So,
a little bit afternoon, yeah.
I mean, it changes up stuff a little bit. You don't have quite as much time as you thought you did. But, I mean, if you're not prepared by Thursday, then I guess you're just not being effective enough. So,
right.
I mean, we have to crunch a little bit more into a shorter window, but it doesn't. The time's coming, whether it come today or tomorrow. We just got to be. If we're not prepared right now, then we're not doing our job effective enough.
What did you break down with them this week that you saw that you have to come and get a win on the road? Yeah,
and they're a really physical team. They're under a new head coach. Their head coach had come from Velma. He was the offense coordinator there, so it's a familiar looking. We played Velma last year, so there is some familiarity with them. But yeah, they're physical. They got some playmakers, and that's really the big thing I took of them from film, is they're extremely physical. So we got to be able to match that intensity.
And so, what is your keys to the game for a win for Thursday?
It sounds cliche and cheesy, but it's got to be one up front. Having a pretty much whole new offensive line, really getting to show that we're able to produce offensive linemen. So being able to win the battle up front, and then putting the ball. We got some playmakers still, so putting the ball in our playmakers' hands and letting them do what they do.
All right. Well, we've got a couple of players with us, so grab the mic. Give us your name, grade, and what position you play.
Braylon Cerner. I'm a junior, and I play fullback and linebacker.
All right, so double duty, and usually in schools your size, you're going to play both sides of the ball, especially if you have the athleticism to do that. How conditioned are you to be able to, as soon as offense is done, you got to straight out to be a linebacker or defense?
Well, during practice, we switch from doing one thing to another, and it's really I do it during practice, so I get used to it during the game. I don't feel tired during a game.
Fullbacks usually have old school mentality. You're kind of the lead blocker and don't really get the ball as much. Is that true, or do you still get the ball handed off to you?
I mean, I tote the rock sometimes, but when I do, I try to make it count.
Yeah, you kind of blow it up. Yeah, I got you. What about linebacker? You mentioned running back and linebacker. What's your favorite? Do you like offense or defense, or about the same?
It's a pretty good mixture. I like hitting people, and I also like tackling people. So, yeah.
Well, and that's why fullback, too, because you're not afraid of contact, and you can do that, and then So just a junior, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how would you like to improve going forward in getting better at being a fullback and a linebacker? How would you improve in your personal game?
Really just studying my film, what I'm doing wrong during the game, and, fixing it so I can be better as a fullback and a linebacker, and also during the offseason get better at both those positions.
Very good. You got a player next to you, so let's grab the mic. You give us your name, grade, and what position you are in.
My name is Trip Hansen. I'm a junior, and I play free safety, wide, and slot receiver.
Okay, so you're both ways too, and just a junior. You're both juniors. What is it like to fill in the shoes for this? These seniors that have graduated. Now you guys are next up. You could have been next up if there was an injury, so you were kind of waiting on that. Now that you're taking that role, and you could be there for 2 years. So, what kind of statement are you trying to make this year?
Oh, I mean, it's a heavy load, of course, but I mean, we go out there. I mean, those are just words. I mean, people say, "Oh, y'all ain't gonna be as good as the team that was before," but that's just words. I mean, we go out there, we show them that we're Blue Devils. I mean, that sticks with us. I mean, because I was there with that team last year, but I mean, there's a lot of skill on that field, and we can make a name for ourselves this year. Anything
to playing Thursday as opposed to Friday? I knew it was a Friday night light experience, and now they kind of threw a little curveball in there for you to play Thursday. Does that kind of phase you at all?
Not really. I mean, yeah, it's one less day of practice, but it's also one less day of practice for Hilton. So I mean,
yeah,
we got a lot of stuff to learn, of course, but.
What did you see on film that has to have you get the win?
Oh, I mean, Hilton. I mean, they're a good football team. That running back's really good, but I mean, our outside containment's going to be good. I mean, we got that rush on and stuff, but I mean, they're going to have to handle us before we can handle them. So.
Okay, and then I've asked, your partner next to you, that offense or defense. Do you prefer one over the other? If so, why?
I prefer defense more.
Do you?
I mean, I'm free safety, so I mean, I'm not last string. I mean, if something gets to me, then.
That's right. You're the last man standing. Oh, yeah. There's a reason for that name, and no one else you don't get beat deep, and you're the last man standing to chase down anything that's coming your way. So,
yes, sir.
All right. Well, good luck, Walters Blue Devils. Of course, remember a program note that they will be playing on Thursday night, 7 o'clock, 6:30 for the pregame. All right. Well, congratulations on a good start of your scrimmages, and we'll see what you guys can do in week 1. Yeah, Walters didn't play a 0-week game. We'll be back right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right. Oh, we're excited because, 0 week kind of got you a little taste of it. College football last Saturday. OU plays Michigan on Saturday. That's probably the biggest game that's going to be featured on Saturday, and so, that's going to be something to look forward to. As we said in the very beginning of this program, that the Cache Bulldogs had a commitment with their JV game that was going to be played at 6. It was supposed to be played at Eisenhower, but then that changed, so then they had to move that to Cache. So they've kind of had to do that, and that affects Eisenhower as well. So both of those schools were not being able to be with us, so hopefully we'll get them back next Tuesday so we can get rip-roaring ready. I know most of the time those are played Monday night. Yesterday was Labor Day, so it kind of threw everything kind of into a kilter, so you kind of understand those kind of situations there. So we'll have all 5 schools next week. Don't forget, also have the Elgin Coaches Show that's going on currently. Have the Midwest City Coaches going on as well at this time frame. There was Altus against Clinton volleyball going on right now on the network. What is next? Well, that's why I tell you to download our app. Download the app on Apple and Android devices. Just search the Oklahoma Sports Network. It's free to download and free to watch. In your home devices, Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. For those on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And those on Facebook, follow us on Facebook as there. Because just like we have a full slate of stuff tonight, Wednesday we'll have the Altus Coaches Show. Thursday we'll have Walters football and Lawton High and Eisenhower volleyball. And Friday, it would have been 13, 12, about 11 games, because Bethany will not be playing. 11 games on the network to get ready for week 1 across the great state of Oklahoma. Most of our pregames will start at 6:30, some at 6:45. Check your programming to know what our start times are. But then we're here at Southwest Oklahoma Brewery every Tuesday. Come here for the best barbecue in town. I challenge you to find a better setup with a great atmosphere inside, outside the patio. You've also got the cornhole, and you got the nicest and friendliest staff around. So Southwest Oklahoma Brewery, you say, well, where is that? Yeah, it's on 2nd Street. It's not hard to find, right down from the mall, right off of Gore. You can find us sandwiched in between the two. Southwest Oklahoma Brewery every Tuesday night at 6 o'clock for the Coaches Show. You've been watching a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.